Hello, everyone. Heather Holmes here with KTVU Fox 2 News in the San Francisco Bay Area. And joining me this afternoon is Dr. Rashid Chotani. He is medical director at IEM and someone that we've been talking to now for more than a year about COVID-19. Doctor, always a pleasure to see you.
It's always a pleasure to be with you to talk about this very, very important subject that has been going on for over a year now.
Yeah, and throughout this time, Dr. Chotani, a lot of us have been encouraged to wear a mask, but now people are wondering, when will it be okay for us to go outdoors without wearing a mask? What does the science say?
So when we look at the science and take a look at how many people get infected when they're outside versus indoors, of course, the risk of getting infected outdoors is much, much lower compared to indoors. So some studies have suggested that only 10% of the infections that have occurred outdoors in an outdoor setting. But what I would suggest and really would like to make a strong statement over here that masks are important. Yes, we are all tired of wearing a mask, but remember that if you are going outside and if you're going to a big event outside, you have to make sure that you look at what the infection rate in your community is. Now, if the infection rate in your community is high, then you want to take those precautions and wear a mask. Now, if you've been vaccinated, if you've received the vaccination and the second dose of Moderna or Pfizer, or first dose of J&J, and it's been 2 weeks, then you have developed immunity, a very strong immunity, but not before that. So take all of those things into consideration. I think in the end, it's going to be a personal responsibility in terms of how you're going to do what you want to do. But also do remember that masking, even if you're vaccinated, can help others not get the infection from you. Because if you are vaccinated, your body is going to fight the virus. You will not develop the disease, but the virus can potentially be transmitted from your nose, where it resides, to other people. So wear a mask if that's something that you want to do. But in an indoor setting, if everybody's vaccinated, you want to be comfortable, the people, there's no reason to wear a mask at that particular point. But caution is still the most important thing that we need to maintain.
Okay, let's talk about those who are vaccinated. A lot of people now want to know, okay, what can I do once I have been fully vaccinated?
So once you're fully vaccinated, you have to wait for 2 weeks after the second dose of either Moderna or Pfizer, or the first dose of Johnson & Johnson. And a lot of people, 7.5 million people got Johnson & Johnson before it was halted because of the reactions that were seen among women. But after 2 weeks, you really do develop that immunity, not before that. So if you think that you got a shot and now everything is great, no, you got to wait 2 weeks before you really develop the immunity. And then after that, you are 95% protected or 75% protected. But there's always a chance that some people who have been vaccinated will get some mild form of infection. And with all the variants and everything else going on, yes, we are moving towards where we want it to be. But one of the things that we had not anticipated was that there were going to be so many different variants that are going to just jump up and cause all these kinds of problems. So again, masking is something important. And I think if you can, do wear it so that you protect yourself, you protect others. But once you're vaccinated, you're pretty much good in terms of protecting from the wild strain and some of the other strains that have evolved, including the UK strain, et cetera, that have evolved, but not necessarily some of the newer strains that have been identified, such as the Texas strain.
Yeah, let's talk about that one. What concerns you about that strain that was found there in that Texas lab?
So it's a BV1 strain, and it's related to the UK strain. And the amazing thing about this particular strain, the variant strain is, or the mutant strain is, that it spreads very, very fast. It causes illness, more severe illness for a longer duration of time, But what is extremely concerning is that it's highly resistant to the neutralizing antibodies that we develop in our bodies to fight the virus itself. So we are still learning a lot more about this virus, but this particular variant, but that is something that is of tremendous concern. Now, we've had multiple variants, UK variant, the Brazilian variant, and then the Indian variant that has, which is a double-stranded variant that has emerged across the world and probably is in the United States. But this Texas variant is also of tremendous concern because it stops the reaction that we really need in our body to fight the infection.
Okay, you mentioned the Indian variant, and boy, that country really suffering right now with a huge surge in cases.
Oh, India is suffering in a massive way. They have over 16 million cases. They have over 185,000 deaths on April 21st, which is an incredible number that I'm about to give you. 314,000 people were tested positive or had cases were reported in just one single day. They are averaging close to 265,000 cases in the last 7 days. These are huge numbers. And again, what has been seen is that 70% of the population now has the double-stranded variant that we just talked about, which is a mix of two different variants, one probably related to the Brazilian strain, one probably related to the California strain, but we are still learning a lot more about it. India is is a hot zone right now, and the neighboring countries are going to be hot zones very soon because of the movement of population, etc. New Delhi, the capital, has imposed a 6-day lockdown, and other cities and other major metropolitan areas around India are concerned about it. A lot of countries have stopped flights from India. It's going to be a major issue in terms of not just the health, but economy over there.
Yeah, and while we look at, other countries struggling, I want to bring it back here to the United States. And my final question for you, doctor, we are seeing the pace of vaccination slow down a bit. Why do you think that is?
So there are multiple reasons, I believe, behind that, and two most important reasons are number one, the problems that we saw with Johnson and Johnson and a halt put on a vaccine, which was expected to be a vaccine, which was a one-shot vaccine, was giving very good immunity, and everybody was very happy. It was developed in a very traditional way, as other vaccines have been developed, and all of a sudden we had out of 7.5 billion people who were vaccinated, six females between the ages of 18 and 48 who developed these blood clots. And what we found was later that one of those individuals from Virginia died because of the blood clots, and a young 18-year-old female has gone through 3 different surgeries to remove blood clots from her brain. So everybody's scared of what is happening. We also discovered that heparin, which is one of the anticoagulants that we use, is not really the one that we need to use when something like this happens after a reaction from the Johnson and Johnson vaccine. Now, that is a scary thing for a lot of people, and especially if you are a woman in childbearing age, and that has caused caution among people. The other issue and a problem is that we've got a very large country, right? We have a lot of remote areas, border towns, areas where they don't have the big hubs vaccination hubs. So to reach those populations is also important. But there certainly has been a slowdown in terms of people, the enthusiasm of people when they were coming to get vaccinated is not there as much as it was 2 weeks ago. And again, I would urge everybody that you should get vaccinated. We've got 2 vaccines, Moderna and Pfizer. They're excellent vaccines. You should get vaccinated. FDA and CDC is going to be sitting tomorrow to review the data from Johnson and Johnson, and there's a possibility that they will say, with caution, this vaccine can be administered. Perhaps it's not going to be allowed in certain age groups, certain gender, like female gender. We'll see what the recommendations are, but we've got to wait and see. But please be encouraged that the scientific community is looking at everything in a very transparent way and reporting it to the population. The vaccines that are out there are extremely safe. If the scientific community feels that the Johnson & Johnson vaccine is ready for the population, again, they will start it with some cautions, but I believe that we should all get vaccinated.
Yeah, obviously the process working as it was designed to. All right, Dr. Rashid Chotani, really appreciate it. Thank you so much again for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me.